SUVs. It appears, Amit, if you're an SUV lover or hoping to buy an SUV, it's going to cost you more, and the government has also tweaked the definition.
Yeah, they've streamlined it. So now vehicles with engine lengths more than 4000 mm, engine capacity more than 1500 cc, so your Ertiga does not come in that category, and ground clearance of 170 mm or more will not be classified as SUVs alone. So they will attract a cess of 22% and a GST of 28%, while an Ertiga, which has whose engine is less than 1500 cc, will still attract a cess of 20%. So that is the little tweak they have done. So quite a few vehicles now basically will get clubbed together. So that is the little change in the definition, and Karthik will elaborate on that more.
So, Shweta, I think, again, like Amit mentioned, the objective here for the government has been to arrive at a common definition of SUVs. And this is something that you, Krishna, me, Amit, all of us have discussed multiple times and in the studio itself, that, you know, how do you define an SUV? There are compact SUVs, there are large SUVs, there are medium-sized SUVs, there are crossover SUVs, also called XUVs, there are MPVs or MUVs, multi-purpose vehicle or multiple utility vehicles, right? There are so many definitions here that without a very, very clear guideline on how cess should be added to a particular model or make or vehicle was fairly complex. So I think the government in this case has tried to simplify that and arrive at a definition of SUV, and the definition of the SUV, like Amit just mentioned, is 4 meters or more in length, 170 meters of ground clearance, 1500 cc or more, 170 mm of ground clearance, and 1500 cc or more of engine size. Now, whether you're a 7-seater, whether you're a 4-seater, whether you're an MPV or an XUV or an SUV, this is the broad definition of SUV.
Okay.
And this broad definition of SUV for any vehicle, no matter what it looks like, what it feels like on the inside or outside, it is going to attract a cess of 22% versus 20%. So this delta of 2% is an increase in the cost of that vehicle. So if you want to go and buy an SUV that fits this criteria basis this new definition, then your car is going to cost you, or your vehicle is going to cost you 2% more. That is the broad takeaway.
Right.
Now SUVs in any case attract a GST of 22% if I'm not mistaken, right? 22% GST, 28% GST, sorry, 28% GST. It was 20% cess, now it becomes 22% cess, so that delta is 2%.
Right, the delta 2% is also going to mean a lot more money coming out of people's pockets.
Definitely.
Couple of thousands.
Karthik, there is one thing that industry watchers have basically highlighted. The certification on ground clearance is given on the laden state.
Okay.
But this the new definition of 170 mm is basically on the unladen state. So could you clarify on that one?
I have no idea what laden or unladen means, honestly. I think what is also important to note is that there is no other new sort of development on sedans. So some auto enthusiasts that I have spoken to and who've also sort of written in papers suggest that there are certain sedans which are also in excess of 4 meters of length. They have good ground clearance, maybe at par with 170 mm or higher, and have engine capacities of more than 1500 cc. So how are they going to be taxed? I think that clarity is still awaited, because a sedan at the end of the day is a sedan. It looks like a sedan.
Absolutely.
So as per our understanding right now, if sedans have a ground clearance of more than 170 mm, length of more than 4 meters, engine capacity of more than 1500 cc, they should also attract the 22% cess rather than 20% cess, right? But apparently the government is going to come out with a new ruling for sedans separately.
All right, and so there's going to be more clarity on sedans, but on laden and unladen, I've been able to Google now, and it says laden or unladen weight is when there's no passenger sitting in a car. So essentially,
thankfully we are
take
not
away
talking
the
about tire pressure in that case.
Tire pressure, take away the passengers and whatever the length is, the ground clearance.
Doesn't mention how many passengers, 1, 5, 7,
none of that.
we're talking about different seating
as long as
capacities
it's an empty vehicle, That's all that.
With tires fully
That's all that
inflated
length
as
that
per the
you-
right PSI.
Make it as confusing as we can get.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
the taxation structure getting as complex as possible. We will, of course, keep tracking all those details emerging from the meeting. The meeting, remember, was the 50th GST Council meeting. At the start of the meeting, we were also given to understand the government also highlighted some of the big takeaways, some of the big changes that were brought about in the GST rule in the last few years. So let's keep bringing you all those details.